Last time we met, I did a demo on how to make a pinch pot, and I ended up with something like this. Even though the pinch pots are inside the plastic bag, they still dry way slower, but they do dry. I'm guessing that at one point you'll wanna put them outside in the sun so that they dry to a leather hard stage. Last time we met, I explained to you how you needed to take these outside for about 15 minutes at a time. And, to go outside and check them. And then when you felt that they were hard enough, um, to go ahead and bring them back inside. And last time I did show you two pinch pots that I took out. I left them outside for about 35 minutes. It got a little bit leather hard, and I made already attached those two. And you can see here, this is the result. You can hardly see, or you cannot see where I attached these two pinch pots. So if you look at the first video, which I already uploaded to my YouTube channel, you're gonna see these ones before I attach them, which this is what I did earlier. And so I would recommend that you guys do that. If because your pinch pots might not get hard enough for you to manipulate them and stick them together. So anyway, and I did tell you how the paper towels helped with the drying process. If you were here, you would feel that these are damp, and because again, we want the bottom to kind of harden, or not just the bottom, but overall. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and use these two pinch pots to show you how to attach them. They are still a little bit soft, they're not completely leather hard. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it anyway. Again, you're gonna have to use your judgment because I'm not there to tell you when these are gonna be ready. As long as they hold their shape a little bit, then you can go ahead and attach them. Now, the attaching, it's gonna be easy for me because if you remember last time I was showing you a couple tricks on how to make sure that the that this rim, that the top of the pinch pot was nice and flat, right? Not like thin on one side and then thicker on the other one, right? And so I remember I kind of tapped them a little bit on the table, and then they became like nice and flat. See that right there? Right there. So that's something that could help. If these are uneven, you can literally take your knife, the needle tool, and try to straighten it before you attach them. Okay, because if these are uneven when you attach them, then you're gonna need to use the coil method to make sure that these really bond. Okay, so anyway, you can see that's a big advantage right there. Look all around. I'm gonna have an easier time attaching these two together because this is not uneven right there. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is put the hole on the bottom. This is kind of cool about using this needle. And wow, that's nice. So there's one. And then assuming that I'm gonna do something to the top, I'm gonna go ahead and also make a hole. And on this one, I'm gonna just push it all the way through. And so there you go. There's the two holes. And now we're gonna do score, slip, score, seal. Got it? Okay, get your fork, and we're going to go ahead and score. And I like to crisscross. You can hold it, or like that. You can hold it with your hands, or you can just put it on the table and just turn it. So I'm not going too deep, but I do feel like when I'm scoring, I I am keeping it even. So this is how we're gonna glue the two pieces together. There's one, now the other one. If it's a little bit too dry, I would go as far as taking some water with my fingers here and just kind of rub it on the lid if it's kind of dry. Please make sure you watch the first video, part one of the pinch pot. It's already uploaded, and you have to watch it anyway because I am going to give you a quiz next Wednesday just to check for understanding. Make sure that you guys know what you're doing. One observation I want you to make is that these two made them a little bit thicker than usual. I would say they are about a half an inch, and I told you for the walls not to be thicker than a half an inch. And so I pretty much reached that max right now. It's about a half an inch uh, on this one, more than this one. You can see a little bit of a difference. And what I wanted to mention is that I intentionally did that because I want to do more carving on these two. I want to do negative space. So if you already have that in mind, you might want to think about that when you are building the pinch pots. Maybe this one side of the pinch pot you want to carve deeper. So maybe that wall you want to make it a little bit thicker. All right. I didn't say that before because I've been telling you to keep these all even. Um, to keep the thickness of the walls even. But if you're going to be doing more negative space, which means more carving, then you can intentionally leave some areas thicker than other. All right. The scoring. Now we're gonna do the slip. Got your slip because I gave it to you in one of these Ziploc bags. And one of the things that I I told you to do is to put the slip in a container and store your slip in it. I mean, it's not a big deal if you don't, like I guess this will last here for a good while, but I think it's nicer to work out of a container. I gave you some tongue depressors, so you might want to use those for mixing. I'll show you a few ways to use your tongue depressor. If you were turning this into a shaker, this is when you would be putting the clay beads inside. I will make a video for how to make the clay beads that are gonna go inside here, but I'm going to show you that they're about this size right here. See that? Let me make this darker so you can see the that's how the beads, the clay beads look like. And look, I'm gonna unwrap one of these. See that? So you're gonna make these. If you want to turn this into a shaker, which is something that I did not require you, it's an option. When you make these, you would put them inside like this. And if you end up doing this, you would just put the beads in one pinch pot, not on both of them, because that would be too much. That would be enough for this to make a sound. Okay. So anyway, I'm not gonna leave them there because I have other intentions for this um, sculpture. I think I want to make a piggy bank or something. I'm going to attach them, and so I already did the scoring. So now I'm gonna do slip. Anyway, here we go. This is nice slip that I made for you. You can use your fingers if you want. There you go. All right, so now we did the slip. Now we're going to do the scoring again. I can tell you I put a little bit too much already. I just got too excited with putting the slip. The idea here is that the slip is going to mix with scoring so that the slip is going to get inside the little indentations that you created with the scoring. I might be overdoing this, but better safe than sorry. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna take some off. Okay. Let's get some of the excess on the inside. And now we are ready to put them together. Take this. Boom. Pressing down a little bit. Nice. Look at that. Nice fit right there. I'm gonna just take some of that excess. Feeling it, making sure that these feel attached. There's no gaps. So we did score, slip, score. Now we're gonna do seal. And so I'm gonna take the fork again. And now what I wanna do is go like this. Again, like crossing, or you could also put it on the table and go like this. And so if your two pinch pots are collapsing at this point, as you're making this, then you know it's not leather hard enough. This is usually what you do when you're gonna put a coil, but I kind of like doing this because it's gonna, I do feel that it does help evening out the, oops, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my tongue depressor, and I'm going to try to smooth it out. Take your time. I am kind of rushing it. Make sure you're enjoying the process. So at this point, put you could also put clay on it, and I'm going to right now intentionally mess it up a little bit here because I want to show you some troubleshooting in a second. Okay. Okay. So if it's flexible enough, you can still kind of like shape it with without making sure that the clay does not crack. And I can tell you right now with my clay right here, I can still, like this is kind of sharp right here. I can make it a little bit round just because it's still flexible enough that it won't like crack. So I can mold it with my hands, or you can mold them with a tool. But anyway, let's say that I mean the idea here is to make sure that we don't have that you cannot see the seam, the that you cannot see the union, right? That's pretty much the goal. But let's say that, let me press this down right here like that. Let's make this intentional here. Let's say that you still have something like that, that it was not complete. Well, you can just because the clay it's still good. You can just go ahead and add clay to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get more clay here and get some clay, and just to be on the safe side, just go ahead and always score. So I'm gonna go ahead and score this large area here, right? Because I have a hole. Uh, and what the hell? Let's put some, you know. And so go ahead and you can make a little uh, like coil like that, and then you don't really need to score your coil in this because there's enough wetness right here, and then you want to go ahead and try to patch that hole to make it even. I'm not too much of a tools person. I kind of like to do everything with my with my fingers. And so you can see now that I can go back here and fix this, even it out, and make that gap disappear. See that? Now you cannot see it anymore. All right, so that's how you would do that. And when things are a little bit smaller, like I can still see it here, a little bit of the union, you can either carve a little bit, like right here. I don't know if you can see it right here. I can see a little bit of the line. And this part right here, the bottom, it's a little bit higher, thicker than this one right here. And so you could literally go like this and blend them. Look at that, diagonally. You can either do this like this. So I'm shaving a little bit of that area so that it's even out with the top one. And you can see that somewhat fixed the problem. And if it didn't, then you can just go ahead and put some of the soft clay and fill it in, and then run your fingers or run your tool. You can. This is helpful, but when you run it diagonally, it does a better job. If you go up and down, it still tends to cut through the line. So it's always better to go diagonal if you're trying to get rid of that line. Look at that, right? And just be careful. Maybe you don't want to put too much pressure, then come back and smooth it out. And that's how I would get rid of. After you do this, now it's good for you to put it away. If you're not gonna work on it anymore, then go ahead and put it away. Let me put away my clay. Don't forget, guys, to put the brand new clay back inside the Ziploc bag. And we're gonna put this back inside the tray. Again, you can do the 3 paper towels to help this dry a little bit, right? And if you don't want this area to dry, because this is where you're gonna be adding something, then go ahead and take the paper towel and make sure it's damp, and then you can do it like that, okay? And now we're gonna put it away. Always be careful if there are moving parts, if there are parts that you attach. Always be careful when you put it inside the bag. Get yourselves a rubber band or one of those wire ties, and there you go.